Recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Bill, we're ready whenever you are.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year's, and hope you had an excellent holiday break. Today we're here for the public hearing for the Texas Academic Performance Report TAPR for 2024-2025. Today's date is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. This meeting is being
Recording
held.
in progress.
This meeting is being held at the Lancaster Administration Board Auditorium at 422 South Center Avenue, Lancaster, Texas. This meeting has been posted in accordance to the Texas Open Meetings Act. I will call roll and announce that a quorum is present. The time is 5:32 p.m. Ms. Cortez?
Present.
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Ms. Nichols?
Present.
Ms. Morris? Present. Myself present. Currently absent is Mr. Cluis and Mr. Smith. Okay, Dr. Purr, do we have any citizens' communications?
I'm not aware of any, Board President Hamilton.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, we will start the public hearing. Lancaster Independent School District, Texas Academic Performance Report TAPR for 2024-2025. The purpose of this hearing is to review district and campus student performance on the TAPR indicators and to provide descriptive performance information on student, staff, and finance of the district and state. Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to call forward Ms. Petania Bell to share that information with our community and our board. And as you will note, lots of good progress through 24-25. Ms. Bell, the floor is yours whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam President, distinguished board members, and Dr. Pereira. This evening, I will be presenting our TAPR report, our Texas Academic Performance Report for the 2024-2025 school year. My bad. And just again, I want to underscore or restate our vision and our mission. So every graduate of success in Lancaster ISD, and then our mission statement, empowering all students' purpose and passion through quality education. Towards the end of the presentation, I will come back to this slide, and this is basically 3 ways that you'll be able to access the TAPR. 1 being the district website, 2 the texasschools.gov site, and then also, of course, our TEA, Texas Education Agency website. So you'll have links as well as QR codes to access the information in the TAPR tonight. First off, I want to start off this evening by just sharing the TAPR again with you, the TAPR report with you. As you know, this is a report that we share annually. There are several data reports that include academic performance as well as extensive information on schools, district staff, programs, and student demographics. This slide includes all of the specific type of reports that you'll have access to as a part of today's presentation. This slide is to inform the public that an annual public hearing is requested each year for the TAPR reporting It aligns with our Texas Education Codes 39.053 and 51.403. Additionally, I've provided a TAPR summary link on this page that includes all of the information at your fingertips. So when the board meeting is over, and you are at your leisure, and you can click that link and you'll have access to all of the reports. On the next two slides, I want to take a few moments to call out some important specifics regarding the TAPR report. So if you'll just follow along with me. On this slide, you'll see our total revenue fund for the 24-25 school year was $72,296,080 or $80. And then our district, of course, was accredited. The next two pieces, you'll have access there as well. You can click on the district's TAPR report and then all of the campus TAPR reports. And then the last section on this page refers to our special education department. Last year, we received an overall determination level 2 needs assistance. And so it's just important that you know that Ms. Crystal Cromer and her team, they're working to get us to a 0. That ranges from a 0 to a 4. And so we're right there in the middle, but she's working very intensely with our staff to make sure we move that needle. On this next slide, I want to just point out that we did offer the ASVAB testing to our students last year twice, once in October and the other time in the spring, in February in the spring. Again, our district, our overall rating is a C, and we also received 16 distinctions, and I wanted to highlight that as well. There is also a link here. Again, for some of this is kind of redundant, but just wanted to point out that there's also a link on this page where you can reach our state accountability ratings and distinctions for all campuses. And then the next link refers you to our campus performance objectives for House Bill 3 and our House Bill 3 board goals, early childhood and CCMR goals are there. Also wanted to just mention to you that the reporting also includes information regarding criminal and violent incidents. And for the 24-25 school year, we did not have any criminal or violent incidents. And then the last portion on this slide is referencing the post-academic measures. And so there's a section in the TAPR that will show you the data, shows you how well our students persist through college beyond graduation. And in this last slide, I just wanted to point out that this is the data for the entire district. It shows the overall score and then all of the scores for each campus and each domain. And I want to just say that overall the district is improving depth of learning in meets and masters, especially in secondary grades. And additionally, we are making strides with our House Bill 3 early childhood and CCMR goals. And again, this is the information that you can utilize to go back and look at all of the reporting, including the information in the TAPR summary. And that is it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. I wanted to defer to Dr. Barker.
Okay.
Okay.
Good evening, Madam Board President, distinguished board members, Dr. Pereira. I just wanted to add, and I'll go back to, as we were putting this together, I did want to emphasize, I mean, if you, and acknowledge some of the hard work that our campuses are doing, and I particularly wanted to point out the work that's happening at the secondary level, as Ms. Bell talked about, but particularly at the high school. That is always the beacon of any school district. You want your culminating group of students at the end, of course, our 100% graduation rate. But one thing that we worked really hard on, and I spoke to Ms. Bell and her group of the Data Coalition about being the and I want to point out domain 1 where you see that B. That is the goal, and that's the student achievement area. And so we worked really hard to try to put some models in place there. And you see we have some places that aren't the best scores as it relates to student achievement, but we go slow as we must to really go fast later and put some things in place. We wanted to make sure that when our students leave us, that they not only have a diploma, but they have other things as well. So the high school, that's the AND group, or you hear us talk about CCMR. So Ms. Bell pointed out military readiness. We've come and talked about our industry-based certifications. All of that is in there. We've learned a whole lot, and now we're able to scale backwards. You'll be able to see that those scores that you see in Domain 1, that they will look very different in this upcoming school year from things that we have there. So we've had, and what we look at as a continuous improvement model. We have tried some things. It hadn't always been great, but it is better than most. And when I say better than most, that is shown in the fact that we have districts all around us calling. I even had to say to Dr. Pereira that a local superintendent called me directly to try to find out what we're doing. We have some districts to the west. I always get east and west mixed up. West of us on 35 that want to come to see what we're doing. Our students look vastly different from their students, but because of the gains that our students are making here academically, people are trying to figure out, and I'll use Pereira's words, what the secret sauce is. So it's not just the 100% graduation rate. There are so many bright spots in our data, so many bright spots in what we're doing academically, that not only are students reaping the benefits, but they're showing students around and districts around us what we can do here in Lancaster ISD. So I just wanted to kind of make, because the TAPR report tells part of the story. It gives you the number, it's what's out there, but the real proof in the pudding you'll see in our buildings and what our teachers are doing and how we're supporting them differently from other people and how they're getting results from with our students. So that's it. Just wanted to add a little color commentary to the TAPR report, and I'll take any questions that anybody might have.
Okay, thank you. Board, any questions, comments? Mr. Jones?
Yeah, if you could go back to that same report, same slide. So I know when we look at this, definitely want to applaud the administrators and their teachers for the work that's been done to get us here. When I look at Domain 2, which is the school progress, I know they take the higher of the two, and the majority of ours is on the academic growth side, which I think is more so a positive, because we're showing 1 year's growth.
Thank you for adding that.
Which aligns to our goal, goal 1. How are we utilizing this data to improve our instruction, tier 1 instruction, and so on and so forth moving forward?
So of course we start with this data as being our baseline. So we don't want to slide back on anything that we're doing, and you'll see that in our CIPs and our DIPs. So we use that to build whatever strategic plan that we have moving forward. Also, I talked about continuous improvement. There are things that we saw as it relates to Domain 2 and 3 that we don't need to do anymore. And there are some places that we need to kind of overlap and expand. And so we use that data, again, as our baseline data of trying to grow. We also have looked at our students individually. I know one time you and I kind of had a banter back and forth about students knowing their data, but we utilize our MAP data to kind of help us with that. And so we're in the process here about to gear up for our MOY, and we'll be able to look at their growth from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year, and then from beginning of the year to the end of the year, to help make sure that we're making that 1 year's gain. And our students should be, if you have students who are participating in MAP or connected or grandkids or whomever, they should be receiving those reports whenever that happens. If they haven't received it in paper form, they can log on and be able to see it themselves, I think. Yeah, okay.
Okay. My other question pertains to our Algebra 1 performance, which, thinking more so at the middle school level, how are we identifying which 7th grade students will take Algebra 1 at the 8th grade level?
So we start identifying them earlier than that. We're actually required to start identifying them earlier than that.
Okay.
We look at the top 40% in 5th grade, and we started doing that because we we've had our top students, and I'm using air quotes, we've always had top students in algebra. But we've also missed some top students and them not be able to take Algebra 1 in 8th grade. And so we've been growing those numbers. We've identified them in 5th. We look at what's happening in 6th, 7th, 8th. We try to get them before 7th grade because we want to make sure that they get the 7th and 8th grade content before they get to Algebra 1. So we have back mapped that so that so that the students are able to get that content. It's interesting that you talk about 7th grade because my instructional team, we're talking about 7th grade would be the beacon of what happens with the 7th grade math, of what happens with this district. So I can tell you as early or as late as yesterday, we talked about supports, we've shifted some of our instructional coaches around, we've taken some of the things that we learned from GWC, and we have come up with a plan. We have a TIP plan for the state, but a plan for the middle school just to make sure that our students have what they need. So Algebra 1, though you'll see the scores, we at one point always had a 100%. I think last year was a little lower because we had some students who did not meet expectations in Algebra 1, but that's because we're expanding the number of students who are taking the class, but also at the same time we're trying to make sure that we put the supports around them so that they can score above standard.
Okay. My next question goes to reading, which of course impacts math, social studies, and science as well. I'm thinking our grade 3 reading, everything went up in the approaches, meets, and master's level. Grade 4 was a little in between and moving forward. What systems are we putting in place? I know we talked about Tier 1 instruction.
Yep.
What other things are we?
So that was the thing. I mean, we even went back as far as for looking at who was teaching and what happened. One particular campus, we had a teacher go out on maternity leave. And so once we realized that that had happened, one of the coordinators stepped in and they themselves taught the class so that we can make sure we have quality instruction. So we not only have paid attention to that 4th grade group of who's teaching and benchmarking, those 4th graders are now what? 5th grade. So we went, 5th grade has been a place that since, I've been here has been very strong. The 5th grade teams on all campuses are very strong. So we put extra supports in place. We made sure that our coaching structure looks a little bit different. We've tiered, we have a 3-2-1 system of what Ms. Reddick calls it. We've tiered the teachers and then tiered the support. That's how we're able to meet our students at scale. In making sure that they get what they need, that all of them get what they need, not just, let me just pull out Todd Jones and work with him, but I need to also work with Queenie Nichols at the same time. So making sure that our teachers are equipped to be able to do that. So they're all tiered. They are specific supports for each level, and we're all included in that.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah. Ms. Morris?
It's not up here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I just want to tell you that I appreciate, because I know you all start looking at this in the 3rd grade, and between the 3rd grade and then you get to the 5th grade, and you can kind of see where that impact. We should kind of expect in the 3rd grade that the students, because that's the first year, so that they're going to fall a little bit behind, but yet they're doing good in our district. So I want to thank you for that, because you started before the 3rd grade for them to get there, and so appreciate that. But as far as the high school, is that struggles happen. It's a roller coaster for the youth. Do understand that. My most concern is that we are providing the opportunity for success, and you all are monitoring it, and you're bringing it to us. And so I just want to tell you all, thank you for your hard work, thank you for your dedication, and please, please continue to do what you do and do it well. Thank you.
Appreciate it. I do also want to add that every month when the campuses come to this podium and they speak with you, they're giving you information that's in the TAPR report, so with color commentary. So you'll get to see not just, because when you click on the QR code, you're gonna see the numbers, but when our principals come here, you get to see the people. So I just wanna remind you of that.
Dr. Pereira.
Thank you, President Hamilton. And I just wanted to just share with the community, as well as the board, that this thing we call learning, it doesn't just happen just because the teacher knows the content or that they are the teacher in the classroom. It truly is an art and a science to teaching and learning. And all things have to be almost perfect for deep learning to happen in a student's livelihood. You know, I don't know what happens before they come to school. And please know that what I'm sharing is not necessarily an excuse for any of our shortfalls, but it's the reality of the life in which we live and the jobs and the tasks in which our staff has in front of them on every single day. And by marrying that art and science of learning together, only then will you get students who are achieving at high levels. Our students and their families have some challenges, but we have never shied away from trying to address those. Hence the creation of our multi-tiered systems of support department. We know we can't just work with the kid, we also have to do that whole child and their families around us, around them. And so, again, I just wanted to remind the community and the board of the fact that there is an art and there is a science to learning. It's not just the staff knowing the content or knowing the curriculum, it is truly how do you deliver that. And for a child to make steady progress every single year, the teacher in that class and the leader in that building have to be highly effective every single day. And we all know we're human and nobody's perfect every single day. As much as we may or may not want to admit it, we have our own challenges. But what I can say, and I'll stand proud on, is the fact that 100% of our students eat free. Almost 90% of them live in deprivation rates. Those things in themselves bring on their own challenges. They're not excuses, but they bring on other challenges for our students and our families and for our staff that are trying to educate them every single day. So I just want everybody to be cognizant of that when we are talking about our students. But the other pride fact is that 100% of them graduate every single year for the last 5 years. That's a steady progress of this district. And each year we've gotten better because we start earlier and we understand and we look at the systems that we have and try to put things in place for it. So I know I went on a little bit of a journey. President Hamilton, thank you for indulging me, but I just felt like I needed to share that with everyone.
Great, thank you, Dr. Pereira. Okay, there are no more comments from the board. We will close the discussion part of the hearing. This is a public hearing. Are there any comments from the public in the audience? Okay, hearing none, we've come to the end of the public hearing, and we will close out this public hearing. The time is 5:53 p.m. and we'll adjourn. Thank you so much.